Hello, it's me, French Ted, and we are here for a special little number 10, but special episode because as announced at Double or Nothing, a draft or brand split, if you want to call it that, will take place. And when I say will, I mean has taken place. And this episode is to basically go through all of the changes that have been made to the roster, to the teams, to the titles, who has signed, who hasn't signed, who will sign, who has been let go. So yeah, a lot of things to cover, and I figured the most exciting part of this is the brand split itself and who has ended up on what brand. So we're probably going to save that till the end. But first, let's just go through the title scene. Because some titles have been assigned to certain brands. So let's just jump in here. I don't think we've looked at this screen in a while. So we'll start from top to bottom. The AEW International title, which is held by Orange Cassidy, is now on the Collision brand only. So this is the only place that you will see the international title unless it's a pay-per-view event. Same with the TBS title, because Collision in my save is on TBS, the television network. The TBS title is staying on Collision. That means for the TNT title, this will be on the Dynamite brand. All world titles, so the AEW Women's World, the AEW World, the AEW World Tag Team, and the AEW World Trios, are all floating championships, meaning that they can bounce between Dynamite or Collision depending on who the champion is. So, for example, MJF can appear on both Dynamite and Collision until he loses the championship, in which then he will stay on whichever brand he has been assigned to, which you'll find out soon. And the FTW World title is not a strict title, because it's not an official title, I mean. So whichever brand Christian Cage has ended up on is the brand that the FTW World title is on, basically. So that is the champions and the changes to that. If we just jump to events, nothing has changed here. So Dynamite's still on Wednesdays, Collision still on Saturdays, Rampage Fridays. Rampage will be brandless, so anyone can appear on Rampage, and the pay-per-view schedule hasn't changed at all. Once we get to our season finale, which is All Out, I might have a look at this, change it about, maybe add some custom events and things, because in my view, from then on, that's when we can get a little bit more wild with whatever we want to do, who we want to sign, things like that. The next most fun thing that we can look at, which I believe we can do here, and then here, and then you can see there's a lot of releases. Don't look, spoilers guys. Company AEW, story type, let's reset. AEW story type, releases. Would they be worth leaving? Yeah. So we've got quite a few. I'm just going to quickly run down through it. Some of them you can just read yourself here. Some of them might be shocking. Some of them I will explain as we go through. So if I don't explain it, it's mostly because one, never used them, or two, never going to use them. Wardlow. Got rid of Wardlow because I think I made it clear I'm not much of a fan of him. I don't see the appeal. He did have quite good popularity and such, like 48. So he was in our upper mid card, I'd say, but I just didn't see me wanting to use him at all. There were other people that I would prefer either job or win. So we'll leave that. Scorpio Sky I've released because he was kind of part of SoCal Uncensored. SCU. But Christopher Daniels is gone now, and I don't really see myself using him as a singles act. Jay Lethal I have released as well because he had a negative personality, and also I only ever used him with Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett has now, or is retiring, but I've converted Jeff Jarrett into a road agent, so anyone who said they were retiring, except for Daddy Arse, are basically retired or released. Trench, Tony Nese, Toa Leona, Taya Valkyrie, Sean Spears, was never going to be used. Serpentico, apparently that's what he looks like under the mask. Rebel, Parker Boudreaux, Penelope Ford, Mark Sterling, Mark Briscoe. Sad to see him go, but at the same time, I couldn't really see myself using him. Madison Rain, Luther, Leva Bates, Kip Sabian, Commander, Kira Hogan, JT Davidson, Josh Woods, Harley Cameron, Griff Garrison, Fuego del Sol, Darius and Dante Martin, Danhausen, Colt Cabana, Cole Carter, Aaliyah James, Brandon Cutler, Bishop Korn, Ari Davari, Angelico, Abaddon, and Aaron Solo. So that's everyone that has been released. They are no longer a part of the company in any way, shape, or form. Some of them, or most of them, I think, are actually at Ring of Honor. So we could just bring them up from Ring of Honor whenever we wanted. Speaking of Ring of Honor, we turned them into a developmental company, or we made it so that they can accept developmental workers. So there was a host of names that I kind of didn't want to keep, but then I was like, they're young, they've got, promise. So if we head to our developmental section, here's a small number of names that we have kept for one reason or another. So Action Andretti, he seems to be like the guy to focus on, but not just yet. So, he's in Ring of Honor. We'll see what he can do there. I'll see how his stats progress. Anthony Ogogo, another one. I didn't want to get rid of him straight away. So I'll check back here now and then, see what he does. But yeah, Brian Pillman, Brock Anderson, similar thing. They've got talent. The same with Private Party. I couldn't see myself using Isaiah Cassidy until Mark Quinn is back. So developmental just kind of made sense. Nick Wayne as well, another super young guy. Just can't see myself using him until he gets a little bit better or a little bit more pop. Same with Paige Van Zandt and Red Velvet. And Satnam Singh, I thought I'd keep him around because he's meant to be, a hot prospect. So we'll just see what happens there. Let's just double check creative, see what that's saying now that we've kind of got rid of a bunch of people. So franchise players are still relatively the same. Next big things, we've got less now. Oh, maybe we didn't have that many big things. So Hook, Takeshita and Bandido. Hot prospects, Jamie's up there now. Jack Perry's there. That's interesting. Talk the Talk, Showstoppers, Ring Generals. They're all relatively the same. Who's hot? This is after Double or Nothing. These are our hottest talents. And who's not? None, which is good. And Hidden Gems. Anyone interesting? It's pretty much the same as we've had for a while. But that's all of the in TEW stuff. I've created a few graphics to kind of showcase the actual brand split. So if you bear with me a moment, I'll get it up. And we'll head straight into the men's roster for Dynamite. Okay, and here is the men's roster. So, you can obviously read it for yourself, but I just want to explain a few things that are on the screen that will be on the screen for everything else. So anyone with the bracketed C is a world champion, meaning that they can appear on Dynamite or Collision, but this is the brand they belong to. So for example, if MJF loses his title, as we said earlier, he will remain on Dynamite and will not be able to appear on Collision again unless he becomes world champion again or a world title. I think that makes sense. And you'll see that there are a few names here that we haven't seen before. For example, Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste. They are people that I am in the process of signing, or they have signed, but they're yet to be available to work. Most of these are handshake deals. Some of them are a little bit bigger. And there's one that I want to mention. I'll mention it now. Sami Zayn from WWE. WWE have yet to put in a bid for him, so it looks like they're letting him go. So that means that Sami Zayn, as far as I'm aware, will be signing with us, but he is yet to agree a contract. So Sami Zayn will not appear on either of these rosters, but when he does sign, we will make an announcement, or we'll just do a big debut for him if he does sign. But yeah, just get that one out of the way. Everyone else is basically going to happen. So quick rundown of the men's roster. We've got Adam Page, Alex Coughlin, new signing, Andrade El Idolo, Anthony Bowens, Bandido, Blake Christian, Brian Cage, Brody King, Bryan Danielson, Chris Jericho, Christian Cage, Claudio Castagnoli, Daddy Arse, Dralistico, Eddie Kingston, Evil Uno, Hook, Jack Perry, Jake Hager, Jeff Hardy, John Moxley, Konosuke Takeshita, Lance Archer, Luchasaurus, Malachi Black, Marshall Von Erich, Matt Hardy, Max Caster, Mikey Nichols, Miro, MJF, Ortiz, Paul White, Penta L0, Powerhouse Hobbs, Preston Vance, Ray Phoenix, Ross Von Erich, Roosh, Sammy Guevara, nearly said Garcia then, Santana, Shane Haste, Stu Grayson, The Blade, The Butcher, and Wheeler Yuta. So a few things that the keen-eyed folk of you will see. A couple of stables or teams clearly have been split up due to this brand split. So we can see, for example, that both Brody King and Malachi Black are here, but Buddy Matthews is not. Which means that when and if the House of Black lose their world titles, they will no longer be a team. And Buddy Matthews will have to be on his own. But this is the men's roster. Let me know what you think for Dynamite. And obviously at the end of the video, let me know which roster you think is stronger. We're now going to move on to the women's roster for AEW Dynamite. And here we are for the women's roster of AEW Dynamite. As you can see from the graphics that I've added, there is a new signing with an asterisk, but she will sign. Let's just run through the names now. So we've got Allison Kay, Billy Starks, Britt Baker, CJ Perry, Miro's wife, Deonna Purrazzo from Impact, Emi Sakura, Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hayter, our world champion, Julia Hart, Madison Rain, Mercedes Martinez, Riho, Santana Garrett, Steph DeLanda, Tay Mello, The Bunny, Tony Storm, Trish Adora, and Yuka Sakazaki. So this is our women's roster for AEW Dynamite. So yeah, we've got 4 new signings that will be joining in the coming days. Steph DeLanda, Trish Adora, Deonna Purrazzo, and CJ Perry. And they will all be active wrestlers for the women's division. Taking a look here, we can see that Tony Storm is one of the 3 outcasts that is on Dynamite, meaning the other 2 must be on the other brand. So the outcasts have been split up. So I wonder how Tony Storm is going to do without Saraya and Ruby Soho. Aside from that, seems pretty fair. Jamie is still with Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida, so that's nice to see. But obviously Jamie Hayter can float between the 2 brands until she is no longer world champion. Cool, nice and easy, super simple. Let's jump into AEW Collision and see the men's roster first. Okay, and here is Saturday Night Collision's men's roster. Right off the back, you can see CM Punk front and center, well, front and to the right. He will be headlining Collision, as are the rumors in real life as of the time of recording. But yeah, let's run through this, and you can see we've got some new signings. So Chris Bay from Impact and TJ Perkins have also been signed or signing and will join the Collision roster. But let's start from the top and work our way through. So we've got Adam Cole, Bebe, Alex Reynolds, Angelo Parker, AR Fox, Austin Gunn, Big Bill, Boulder, Bronson, Buddy Matthews, 1/3 of the House of Black, Cash Wheeler, Cesar Bononi, Chris Bay, Chucky T, CM Punk, Colton Gunn, Daniel Garcia, good old Rampage Garcia, with his world title opportunity when he chooses, Darby Allin, who is injured for just under a month, really, really sad news that is, Dax Harwood, Dustin Rhodes, Ethan Page, Jay White, John Silver, Juice Robinson, and Keith Lee of Bullet Club Gold, Kenny Omega, Kyle O'Reilly, Lee Moriarty, Matt Jackson, Matt Menard, Matt Sydal, Matt Taven, 4 Matts, Mike Bennett, Nick Jackson, Orange Cassidy, Pac, Peter Avalon, Ricky Starks, Roderick Strong, Ryan Nemeth, Sting, Swerve Strickland, TJ Perkins, and Trent Beretta. One thing to note that wasn't mentioned earlier, Pac is now separated from Death Triangle, so there is no chance of the three of them having a go at the trios belts unless they are on the same brand. There may be a way for them to do it if it's orchestrated on one brand and it happens at an event, but as and when and if that happens, we'll have to wait and see. But we can see Bullet Club Gold and the Elite all kept together, which is nice to see. One thing you may have also noticed is the JAS has just been ripped in half. So it looks like Daniel Garcia, who seems to have walked out on the JAS that we last saw. And then obviously we've got Angelo Parker and Matt Menard here. And Sammy Guevara was on the other brand with Jake Hager and Chris Jericho. So what happens to the JAS? We'll have to wait and see. Moving swiftly on, let's jump into the women's roster for AEW Collision and see how they are shaping up. Oh, it's exciting, isn't it? You can see it. You can see her right there. Mercedes Moné finally signing for AEW. She is, I believe, in this save still the IWGP Women's Champion. Which is an alliance belt, meaning that she can defend that belt anywhere within the Forbidden Door. So that's Impact, New Japan, us, and Ring of Honor. So as and when she wants to bring that belt over, she's more than welcome to. But yeah, Mercedes Moné, the big name here. Let's just run through the rest of the roster. So we've got Anna Jay separated from Chris Jericho. She's probably happy about that. Athena, Charlotte Renegade, Diamante, Jade Cargill, the TBS champion, Chris Statlander, Layla Gray, Layla Hirsch, Marina Shafir, Mercedes Moné, Nyla Rose, Robin Renegade, Ruby Soho, Samantha DeMartin, who is Indy Hartwell from WWE. She has officially signed, but does not start for another 28 days. She has to wait for her contract to run out, but she is officially signed on paper, using her independent name that she used before she signed for WWE. Soraya, Sawyer Wreck, Sky Blue, Thunder Rosa, Willow Nightingale, and Zeta. So that is our AEW Collision women's roster, and that wraps up our entire roster for both AEW Dynamite and AEW Collision. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Let me know which brand you think won. Let me know what you think is going to happen to the likes of House of Black, the JAS, people, the Outcasts that have been split up. Like, what's going to happen with all of them? And let me know who you're most excited to see out of our potential new signings. And let me know as well if I made any mistakes in releasing a few people, because I'm sure, you'll let me know. But I believe that's everything. Let me just jump back into TEW and have a little look, and I'll meet you there. Okay, we are back. One thing I did want to check was Madison Rain. Yeah, so we had her on the Dynamite graphic, but it looks like I released her. So ignore that. Madison Rain is not part of Dynamite or the company. Yeah. One other thing I did actually want to do, and I wanted to do it live just because why not? Not here, not broadcasting, announcers. So I don't necessarily want to assign brands to the announcers, but I do want to have kind of brand or different show people. So Collision currently has Jim Ross, Taz and Excalibur, and Dynamite has Taz, Excalibur and Tony Schiavone. So who else do we have that could do it? Paul White is the only other person. I don't really want to add Paul White. Is he on Rampage? Paul White is on Rampage on his own. I am currently changing RJ City's contract to include announcing and color commentary, so he will be here. But I've just realized I got rid of Ian Riccoboni, didn't I, who is an announcer. So we need someone who can announce. We'll do Jim Ross on Rampage, and we'll bring someone in. Let's just take a look at our contracts that we have offered. So Omos is still there. He said it's between us and WWE on who he signs for. In all honesty, I don't really want him anymore, but if he chooses us, I might sign him. It could be fun to have Omos. Sami Zayn, as I said, if we view Sami, any recent offers have already been rejected. Like, no one else has offered to sign him, so it looks like he could be coming to us. Deonna Purrazzo, CJ Perry, these are all simple offers. They're going to accept them. They always do when it's these. So yeah, these will all be joining our company. I think that is everything to cover in this episode. So what we will do is we will just continue as normal from the next episode. It will be the exact same format: episode of Dynamite, episode of Collision. However, obviously the brands will be split and the workers will be very different. So some storylines will have to change. Some storylines won't, and there will be new storylines, of course. But yeah, I'm rambling now because why not? And as you can see up here, we've also got Forbidden Door coming up, so we're going to have to find a way to incorporate some New Japan talent in the coming weeks, which I'm very excited about because I love me some New Japan. But until then, we've got 4 weeks worth of shows, so I need to get booking, and hopefully you guys need to get watching and liking. But that's in the future. We're in the now. And yeah, that's everything from me. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Please leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.